Hi, Eastview family. Happy Wednesday to you. Vicki Snyder again, and I hope you're having a good week so far. Today we are taking a look at God's mysterious ways, how God works his plan. This week we're back in John 11. We've just seen Jesus raise Lazarus from the dead, and the Pharisees and high priests are starting to get a little worried about Jesus' growing influence. So they hold a council meeting to figure out what to do. What's fascinating is that this meeting becomes a part of God's bigger plan. In verses 49 through 53, we see what this plan is, and it says, "But one of them, Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, said to them, 'You know nothing at all, nor do you understand that it is better for you that one man should die for the people, not that the whole nation should perish.' He did not say this of his own accord, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the nation, and not for the nation only, but also to gather into one the children of God who are scattered abroad. So from that day on, they made plans to put him to death." So first off, Caiaphas is not trying to be a prophet here. He was worried about the trouble that Jesus was causing. But in his own words, we see how God works his hand. In verse 52, we see Caiaphas propose that killing Jesus would save the nation and rally the Jews that live in different parts of the Roman Empire. But the irony here is that what Caiaphas plans and what God plans are the same thing, but for different reasons altogether. God knows Jesus' death would save not only the Jewish nation, but all nations for all time and bring together all people who call Jesus Lord. So God can use even the most unlikely people and unlikely situations to fulfill his plan. I'm sure you have seen this in your own life, and we certainly see it over and over in the stories of the Old Testament. How about the story of Joseph or Daniel or Esther? Even when people have their own selfish motives and agendas, God has got it all under control. God works his plan in mysterious ways. And so what does that mean for us? Well, we can rest assured that God knows all things and that he's working all things for his will and for our good. But does that mean that we do not have responsibility for our actions? Absolutely not. God's word clearly says that our actions do have eternal implications, so we are not off the hook. So, how does God work his plan? Well, we won't fully know this side of heaven, but one thing is for sure. It might not always look like what we think is best, but it is always for our good and God's glory. We can remember Romans 8:28, which says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose."